What's up, you guys? Titty Striker here, and this Saturday the UFC is back, and the UFC is back in Paris with a really incredible card. We got Brendan Allen versus Nassourdine Imavov, which could be the main event of its own fight night, and then we got the main event, which is Nassourdine versus Renato Moicano, which is the main event. But in this video, I want to talk about Nassourdine Imavov versus Brendan Allen and show you guys a fight simulation that I did in UFC 5, and then maybe talk about what's next for who I think the winner of this fight is going to be. But with all that being said, let's get right into it. And first of all, Brendan Allen, Imavov, I feel like this fight doesn't really make sense. I think that Nassourdine Imavov should have probably fought, a guy like Sean Strickland, or he should be fighting Robert Whittaker, and Khamzat fights maybe someone like lower in the rankings. But yeah, this is what happened. This is what ended up happening. And I feel like, Brendan Allen, he should have been taking on Marvin Vettori. He fought Chris Curtis in his last fight, and this is basically like a number one contenders fight, which I don't think really makes sense, because Brendan Allen I think he beat Paul Craig, and then he was supposed to fight Marvin Vettori. Marvin pulled out. Then he fought Chris Curtis again, and now he's fighting a guy in the top 5. I feel like you should put him up in there against a guy like Marvin Vettori, a winnable fight. They got some bad blood. Boost his name value up a bit by getting interest in that fight, and then put him in there in a top 5 fight. But I think that the UFC just kind of messed up, and I think that they're going to lose a potential contender in Brendan Allen. I think that he's going to lose to Nassourdine Imavov this Saturday, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think he's going to get knocked out. He's got some of the poorest striking defense I've seen in the UFC. I mean, his significant striking defense is at 47%, and the UFC average is at 60%. So this guy is 13% lower the average. He gets hit quite a bit, and he's not really defensively sharp. And although Nassourdine isn't a crazy accurate striker, he has about a 55% significant strike accuracy, but he's still going to be sharp in there. And we saw against Cannonier, he was very sharp, and he was landing where he needed to land, which is what allowed him to get this victory. And I believe this is a 3-round fight. So although Brendan Allen does get hit quite a bit, he doesn't really have that good striking defense, I think that he is going to make it to a decision in this fight. I don't think there's going to be enough time for Imavov to find a clean finish, because he typically kind of starts out slow. He fights at a comfortable pace, but when the fight is longer, that gives him more time and more opportunities to find that opening and counter him and potentially put him down. But I think this is going to end in the decision. I think it's going to be pretty dominant for Imavov. And when it comes to the grappling, I mean, Brendan Allen, he does have some really, really good jiu-jitsu, but his means of getting you down to the ground, I don't think are going to be good enough in this fight. I think that Nassourdine is going to be he's going to be expecting it. He's going to be ready to defend those takedown attempts. He is a Dagestani. He lives in France, but he is originally from Dagestani. He's got those, it's just in his DNA, let's be honest. But he's also got, I believe, 74% of takedown defense. And Brendan Allen, I believe his takedown accuracy is at 40%. And I don't think he's going to be taking down Imavov. I think he's going to be trying to, but he's just going to be getting sprawled on. His head is going to get slammed into the mat, and then he's just going to get potentially controlled a little bit. Imavov lands a few shots, gets back up, and then keeps the fight on the feet. And I just feel like Imavov also has just had the far better competition. He's fought just better fighters, top fighters, whereas Brendan Allen, I feel like he shouldn't be fighting someone in the top 5 right now. He should be fighting Marvin Vettori or Paulo Costa, someone that's maybe, kind of towards a slide, towards the end of their career, not someone who's in their prime, about to get a title shot off 1 or 2 more wins. And I just think that the UFC kind of messed up in this matchmaking. I mean, I get it, Marvin Vettori is injured, but Paulo Costa's still out there. He should be fighting someone lower in the rankings. He just lost 2 in a row. So that fight would have made sense. But yeah, now Brendan Allen is fighting Imavov, and I think he's gonna get beat up. Then he's gonna be out till like 2025, and then he's gonna fight Marvin Vettori, and Vettori might beat him because I saw a video of like Brendan Allen, like literally like, running up to Marvin Vettori, like throwing a 3-punch combination, and he missed everything. And apparently Marvin Vettori, like, he injured his arm, so he can't really like throw anything. But like he was still defending the shots, even though Brendan Allen kind of snuck up on him, which is crazy. I mean, that just shows his striking accuracy being at 47%. I mean, he snuck up on a guy with one arm and he didn't land a single punch. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that fight with Marvin Vettori is going to be interesting. Marvin's not the best guy, but yeah, I think that was a fight that should have happened. But either way, I think that Imavov is going to win this by a unanimous decision. And I think after this fight, I think you could potentially put him in there against Israel Adesanya. I think that'd be a really good fight, or a really interesting fight, because Strickland is getting the title shot. Most likely that fight is going to happen in January. And then the winner of Khamzat versus Whitaker is getting the next title shot. And apparently Pereira wants to come down regardless of what happens in his fight to fight Dricus du Plessis. So if he wins, is he going to skip over the winner of Khamzat and Whitaker, or what's going to happen with that? I'm not sure. But either way, if you're Nassourdine Imavov, you should be calling out Israel Adesanya if you win this fight. I mean, he's the number 2 ranked guy in the world. So go out there, beat Adesanya, get yourself up there and make yourself an undeniable number 1 contender. And also beating a guy like Israel Adesanya, I mean, he is one of the biggest stars in the UFC. A lot of people are going to know about you, and you're going to have a lot more fans, and that's going to help in getting a title shot, because sometimes that's all you need. You just need to be well known and you'll get a title shot, which is crazy. But I actually think that if he gets through Adesanya, he could definitely beat Dricus du Plessis. He's got fast hands, he's got great grappling defense. The problem is he might have to higher his output, but he is a pretty good counter striker, so it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to catch Dricus du Plessis coming in, considering a guy like Adesanya wasn't able to. But yeah, there's going to be some interesting matchups for Imavov. And also, one more point about Brendan Allen is I feel like he lost his fight to Chris Curtis, and I feel like that's a massive red flag, considering that Curtis was coming in there on short notice. I know he's a guy, he's a gym rat. He stays in the gym. He's always training, staying ready. I mean, he's teammates with Dan Ige, and we saw what Dan Ige did on like 2 hours notice. Those guys just stay ready at Extreme Couture. But your opponent was a southpaw, Marvin Vettori, and you got a replacement with another southpaw in Chris Curtis. And they're kind of similar. They both have kind of a boxing-oriented style with good takedown defense. And yeah, I feel like Brendan Allen lost that fight. He got pieced up, while a guy like Nassourdine Imavov was able to have his way with Chris Curtis and just kind of piece him up before the headbutt. But yeah, I feel like Imavov is just a better fighter, and he's going to show it. And he could potentially get a finish this weekend. But since it's 3 rounds, I think he's going to win this by decision. But let me know what you guys think about this prediction, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, because that's going to be my main event prediction. And also on Saturday, I'll see you guys, because I'm going to be giving my event recap, because UFC Paris is always a great show. But thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, peace out.